The Boeing situation just got even wilder, with a CEO coming forward to acknowledge the issues regarding the whistleblower situation. So, in today's video, we are going to be diving into a very serious topic with the Boeing whistleblower situation. It is a story that has shaken the aviation industry to its core. We're going to break down what happened, what Boeing knew, and the implications for the future. So, let's get into it. So Boeing are one of the largest aerospace companies in the world, and it has been under intense scrutiny following the crashes of its last two 737 MAX jets in 2018 and 2019. These tragic accidents resulted in the loss of 346 lives and led to the grounding of the 737 MAX fleet worldwide. So as you can probably imagine, there is intense scrutiny on Boeing CEOs and higher-ups to try and get things right. Have they got things right, though? Well, I think it's safe to say no is the answer. In the wake of these disasters, many questions arose about Boeing's safety practices and their internal process. It wasn't long before the whistleblowers stepped forward, shedding light on some deeply concerning issues with the company. And obviously there were multiple whistleblowers that came forward in the wake of all of this going on, and they shared some very alarming things regarding the entire situation. So Boeing CEOs have actually admitted the company was retaliated against whistleblowers during this time. And according to an article from The Independent, Boeing CEO is facing grueling Senate hearing where the whistleblower allegations were brought to the forefront. The whistleblower, who is a former Boeing employee, claimed that the company was aware of safety issues in the 737 MAX fleet, but failed to address them adequately. And this led to, well, I think it's safe to say, some pretty horrendous repercussions for them, which, of course, should never have happened in the first place. During the testimony, it was revealed that Boeing had known about the potential flaws in the MCAS system. A key factor in both crashes, the MCAS's maneuvering characteristics augmentation system was designed to automatically correct the plane's pitch, but it manufactured and forced planes into uncontrollable dives, which obviously does not bode well at all for the Boeing company, because they just admitted to being aware of these concerns and huge issues that are going on within their very own planes. In the Senate hearing, Boeing's CEO admitted that the mistakes were made, but defended the company's overall safety culture. However, senators were not convinced, grilling the CEO on why these issues weren't addressed sooner and more aggressively. This brings us to a critical point. What did Boeing know, and when did Boeing know it? The whistleblowers claimed that internal warnings were issued long before the crashes occurred, yet corrective actions were either delayed or insufficient, which, again, is absolutely that should never have ever been the case. If they are aware of these issues, of course, you would like to think that they are taking precautionary action to stop this from being a thing and to stop this from becoming, well, as catastrophic as of course it did. Here's a timeline of the events. In 2016, the MCAS system was introduced. By 2018, the internal memos and flags had flagged potential issues. In October of 2018, the first crash had occurred, but despite this, it took months for the second crash in March of 2019 before the fleet was grounded. Which, of course, again, it was almost like was this a mistake? If it was, here's your chance to rectify it, but it happened again, so now we can't take any precautions. You are just going to have to ground your fleet. The implications that these revelations are profound. They are not only affecting Boeing's reputation, but also raise broader questions about the regulatory oversight and corporate accountability in the aviation industry. And we're going to take a little look at this interview now to hear what was actually being said from the Boeing CEO.
Before I begin my opening remarks, I would like to speak directly to those who lost loved ones on Lion Air Flight 610 and the Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302. I would like to apologize on behalf of all of our Boeing associates spread throughout the world, past and present, for your losses. They're gut-wrenching. And I apologize for the grief that we have caused. And I want you to know we are totally committed in their memory to work and focus on safety for as long as we're employed by Boeing. So again, I'm sorry.
The question is, though, is that enough? Is that apology, although it did come across as somewhat heartfelt, is it enough to forgive the actions, or inactions, shall I say, of the company? Because I don't think that it does. I don't think that it's fair to say that that is enough, because these are grieving families who trusted, or whose family members trusted this company to get them on a holiday, to get them on a business trip, to get them, whatever the reason may have been, from A to B safely. That's what we expect when we step onto a plane. We expect safety. We're told that the flight is actually one of the most safest modes of transport now. You're actually safer stepping on a plane than sometimes stepping into a car. And then to hear these revelations that actually, in fact, you're not safe whatsoever, and the chances of your, basically Boeing are gambling your life. They're not taking the right precautions. They're being told about issues, but they're not taking preventative action, and they're just allowing these things to happen. So the question is, what next? Of course, we've had the whistleblowers come forward, but what next? So what happens next? Boeing has pledged to improve its safety protocols and has made significant leadership changes. The 737 MAX has since returned to the skies after an extensive re-evaluation, but trust has been severely damaged. And of course, if you look online, this is absolutely the case. The trust is just not there for avionics, and it's not there for the for the company. People don't trust that when they step onto a Boeing plane that they are going to get to where they need to be safely. And it is a shame, because of course when you go on holiday, you go away to forget about your problems sometimes, to have a week or whatever away from life issues. But you've then got to concern yourself with, am I going to get there okay? It's really sad. As passengers and consumers, it's crucial to stay informed and hold companies accountable for their actions. The Boeing whistleblower situation serves as a stark reminder of the importance of transparency and integrity in industries where lives are at stake. And as you can see on your screens, there has been a alleged concerted effort to try and oversight and overhaul the entire safety manufacturing process, because one of the biggest issues that was brought forward by whistleblowers was the parts that were used were subpar. So the Avionics Foundation, or whoever oversees them, would come around, look around the workshops and say, these parts are not good enough, you need to throw them away, order in new parts to continue your conveyor belt line of planes. So they would say, okay, no problem, chuck those bits in the bin. And then the Avionics Aviation Society would walk away, and they would leave. They would then go and retrieve those bins, fish parts out, and then just continue to fit them anyway. Because the amount of pressure that the workers felt to meet deadlines for planes getting out of the door was so intense that overheads were literally like, no, we need those parts to meet deadline demands, so we have to just get them out of the bins. These subpar parts, they'll do. They'll be fine. We'll deal with it later. It will be someone else's problem when Boeing sells it to the airline. Because obviously, the onus now has fallen onto the to Boeing themselves, but the onus initially goes to the airline that is flying at the time. So in beginning of 2024, when the door came off of the plane in mid-flight, it was an Alaskan Airlines flight. So Alaskan Airlines were the ones who were having the fingers pointed at them, being like, this is your plane, this is your issue, why has this happened? And they're like, whoa, like, everything's up to par on our end, go and check out Boeing. And that's what led to this entire situation. But of course, this is where the whole thing gets absolutely bonkers, because obviously Boeing have actually acknowledged the retaliations against whistleblowers, you know. So I don't know how they can't be held accountable for this, because after reading this article, the CEO of Boeing has admitted that the company retaliated against whistleblowers and has spoken against alleged production malpractices, telling a special Senate hearing, "I know it happens." David Calhoun apologised to the families of the Boeing crash victims, saying that the manufacturer was totally committed to a new safety improvement, and began testimony in the committee on Tuesday. And it comes after the embattled aircraft manufacturer faces a string of lawsuits relating to malpractice after a poor plug of the 737 MAX 9 blew off the Alaskan Airlines flight in January. And obviously that's what we were talking about. But he admitted to knowing that these things happen to whistleblowers. How is this company still allowed to function? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump scare the hell out of that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Tick my bell so you get notified whenever we upload to the channel. And until next time, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you later. Peace.